everyone. Welcome to the Cashmere Goat podcast. This is episode 25. I'm Iris, and I want to give a big welcome to Rachel, who's here with me today.
Hello, everybody.
Rachel, you may, if you get our newsletters, you may have seen Rachel on our social media. She's new to us this spring. It's been so great to have you as an addition to the store. Rachel has a lot of talents. Try not to make her embarrassed on the YouTube, but she's a spinner and an amazing knitter and does some beautiful color work and just also photographer. So you may notice if you go onto our website, especially, let's see, what's most recent? Noro?
Yes, Noro, the silk garden, and
so take a look at the pictures online, because what they used to be is, especially with Noro, they like to give you this long,
little gradient strip, usually out of focus and like mealy.
Wonderful for really knowing what you're getting when you're ordering yarn, right? Those long strips don't do a lot for me.
No.
So Rachel's been taking some beautiful pictures where you get a sense of what the ball actually looks like. And it is hard with Noro to capture that, but I think it'll be nice. So check out those pictures. So it's been really good. And Kristen is not here with me. She, as I mentioned in the last podcast, she's the goat owner, and usually it's her and me, but she's not been with us for a little while. She's recovering from some health stuff that she's dealing with, and things seem like they're moving in the right direction, which we're very glad about. We miss her a lot here in the shop, but we've got a good team this summer. So yeah, some good folks to be working with. So let's talk about what we're wearing. You want to talk about what you're wearing?
Oh, okay. So this is one of my Ramona cardigans, which was part of the Goat Knit Along last.
It was our first knit along 2 winters ago.
Oh, it's been a while. While I was convalescing with a sickness over the winter, I got bored and decided to sort of freehand embroider a chickadee and the new old Maine flag on my shoulders.
Love it.
Emblazon the Maine love.
And what is this yarn?
This is the Dooryard yarns, the from Lincolnville, I think.
Shetland. And we don't have any more of this luscious gray. We have beautiful white. The white is gorgeous, and we have white in stock.
Yes, I'm afraid I bought you out. I've knit three sweaters out of that yarn, and it's very hard wearing and a good like winter coat substitute.
It's just very sheepy.
It's very sheepy. It still smells sheepy.
When we get the bags, you open it up and it's like, smells so good. Your hands feel so good when you're knitting it. One thing that I like about Rachel, too, is that you are so good about knitting the same pattern a few times to sort of explore possibilities within the form.
Right, and refine it each time. I did some extra waist shaping, a little bit of cropping. I did a little, sleeve, what do you call it? Decrease modifications. Yeah, I love getting to know a pattern and sort of like as it's written, and then sort of make it my own in other iterations. Sometimes I do a different weight yarn for a different drape, a different feel.
So a few ranunculuses.
A few ranunculi.
Ranunculi, yeah.
I've done a bunch of Felix pullovers, cardigans. Ramona is a great pattern. It's simple, but it has enough interesting detail, and you can modify it really simply, really easily. So yeah, it's a good like everyday all-purpose pattern.
Yay! I'm wearing a shop sample this morning. This is the Fluorescence Shawl by Amba O'Brien. And we've got these kits. We have 3 more of them right now, but this is yarns from Seven Sisters that she put together for this kit specifically. The shawl can be knit in, I think, DK, but this is the fingering size, which I find to be a really, it's a nice size. I don't think I'd want the larger one, but it is so beautiful in these. Yeah. So you get in the kit 1 solid cake, and that's going to be the background, and then 1 of the gradients. And I think what I now understand about how she makes these is that I haven't confirmed it with her, but I think, based on some research I was doing, that she uses a knitting machine to knit up a block.
Like a sock blank and paints it that way.
Yeah,
and unravels it. That's awesome.
Because it's a lot of work, and I don't know that she actually like loves making these, so we're just like soaking them in while we have them, and it's just a really nice lightweight. So fluorescent shawl, and we've got some kits. So of course we have some projects to talk about. That's always fun. Do you want to talk about your projects first, or do you want me to?
You
Okay, I will go ahead. So the last time we had the podcast, I did something very silly. Okay, this is my mystery knit along shawls. So if you're like, don't spoil anything for me, you can just go off into another part of the room, and I'll try not to give any like verbal spoilers. But so, to recap, we have clue 1, and then clue 2, which I kind of went a little rogue with, and the last time we were on the podcast, I like peeked my face through the hole in the center here. But it was actually Rachel and one of our other knitters, Becca, who was in, because I definitely made the center square a little differently than the pattern called for. But this little part here is referential of what the original design was, and I thought that was like a really good idea. And then when I started doing it, I thought, oh, I definitely want to do little bitty stripes here. So I'm very happy with this. Really ended up liking it a lot, and that was just sort of like, yeah, makes me happy to look at. Now on to clue 3, which is these interesting shapes. I'm not sure if I'll feel like this is a circus tent by the time we're done, because it could feel that way. At the very least, it will certainly cheer me in dark gray months, and you know that I'm not afraid of color. But this section here, this clue 3, is really kind of a blast. It's fun, it's easy, there's a nice little, you know, I-cord edge here that's going along. So I feel like I'm making progress. Things are going along. And one of our knitters in the finish along was talking about her approach to organizing her projects. And so I'm taking Ginny's approach, which is I work on this, which now I've put away. So if you've gone away, you can come back. If you don't want spoilers, it's gone. So I work on my mystery shawl for like 3 days. And then I move on to the other project for 3 days. And the other project is the one that I just couldn't resist because of the gorgeous millstone tweed, new from Barocco for the fall.
It's so soft. It's so lovely.
It's so soft. It's so lovely. And I'm making the Irish Rover pullover from Teti Lutzak. And so it's this really nice textured placket on the front and on the back, and then on the sides it's stockinettes. The sleeves are stockinettes, but these are all right crosses and left crosses, so it's no cable needles are involved. And at this point it's pretty well established for me to look at it and know what I'm doing. And this is my new favorite low-tech innovation for figuring out which row I'm on, and maybe everybody else has been doing this for years and I just am late to the party. But I have a 4-round repeat, and I have 4 locking stitch markers. So if I have 2 on my needle right here, it means I'm on a round 2. And when I get to the end of it, then I move this one up and I'm on a round 3, and I just keep like attaching them in a line.
Yep.
And it's so simple and it's so visual, and I don't have to worry about having a pencil handy to mark it down. Right. Sometimes I forget to click my clicker, you know, so. Yes. low tech, but works for me. So I'm really loving it, and it's just squishy goodness. Yeah.
I know. I need to buy my yarn and start one as well.
There's some good blues over there.
There's some beautiful everything's over there. The greens are lovely.
It's just over there, which is why we're looking over there. All right, so what are you working on?
Oh my goodness. Well, I am also knitting a pattern by Teti Luksak, the Bifurca pullover, and I'm in very beginning stages. I'm just starting the little color work.
Here, hold that up. Love this detail.
So yeah, so I'm using some like odd balls of my hand spun for all of the color work, contrast colors. So it's a good way to use up, you know, you buy a single braid of like beautifully hand dyed fiber, and then you have like a single ball, which isn't really enough to do much. So I've decided I'm gonna work it into.
And the Bifurca pattern I'll link below, but it's so beautiful and interesting.
It's a really different sort of construction. Yeah, it's sort of like you start out in the round and knit a rectangle, and then you turn it sideways so it's a deep V front and back, and you do a bunch of short rows Kitchenered together and then joined back in the round for the ribbing at the base.
And then there's color work too.
And the color work too.
And this is the vest version, because there's also a sweater.
I'm actually doing the sweater version.
The sweater version.
But yes, there's a vest version as well that, you know, honestly, if I get excited about something else, this might end up being short sleeved.
Great.
But,
wonderful.
Yeah. So there's that. And most of my unfinished projects are actually spinning.
Can we see?
Well, sure.
Also, you have to hold up your case for your spindles.
This is my spindle case. It's a wine carrying case that I found at a thrift store, and it's just perfect for
so cool. Look at that.
Spindles and some fiber in there as well. So this is some cashmere and silk that I started on last year's Tour de Fleece, which this year's just finished up, and I've been sort of trying to...
And the Tour de Fleece, can we just hold this up and you talk about Tour de Fleece for a minute?
Oh, well, okay. So the Tour de Fleece coincides with the Tour de France, and so spinners, you know, set themselves a goal of, you know, spinning a pound, or, you know, processing a fleece, or whatever. So anyway, this was from an unfinished Tour de Fleece thing from last year.
Pretty. And this beautiful spindle.
This is a Spanish peacock spindle, and they are absolute artists in their work. So I love all of my spindles, but
that's beautiful.
I do have favorites.
Can you hold up this one and talk about like how perfectly it's wound?
Oh, so
wow.
Yeah, there's this one. And this is just another way of wrapping your cop so it's nice and stable, and it's sort of reminiscent of how you would wind your Turkish spindle, your drop spindle.
Okay.
It's sort of the same idea of, you know, laying each wrap right beside the previous one, up and down, and it makes for a very stable, so it doesn't like coil in on itself when you're plying, because you can lose a lot of work that way.
It looks so beautifully firm, and also it's just beautifully attractive.
So yeah, I don't know. So that's kind of what I'm splitting my time between knitting and trying to spin.
What is this cloud of goodness here?
This is some cashmere, some pink cashmere that I bought. It was on sale. Like, how could you not?
Well,
so,
you were saving money.
Right.
Oh my gosh! If you can it's almost so soft you can't feel it.
I know, it's a little cloud, and it's you know, kind of roughed up and compacted from being stored so.
How long have you been?
Ceremoniously.
Okay, there's also like 4 more spindles in here at least.
Yeah. it's a sickness. You start collecting and you can't stop.
And so how long have you been spinning?
Let's see. Probably 6 or 7 years.
Okay.
And I started with drop spindles and like saw the magic of somebody doing supported spinning on Instagram, and when you get really good at it, it's mesmerizing. It's a continuous motion, and it goes just about as quickly as spinning on a wheel once you get the hang of it. And
so the supported means there's like something underneath.
Yeah, so you spin like with it in a bowl.
Okay.
And so then your spindle isn't like holding the weight, or your yarn is not holding the weight of the spindle as it gets more and more full.
Okay.
And it tends to break and drop, or you end up spinning thicker and thicker as you go through, because the single has to support the weight of all of the previously spun spindles on the singles on the spindle.
Yes.
Yeah, so
That's
supported
amazing.
spinning is a lot of fun, and it's just, you
Portable.
you go down the rabbit hole of crafts and whatnot, and pretty soon I'll have sheep and go all in. But yeah, spindles are great because you can take them with you to doctor's appointments, sporting events for the children, whatnot, and it's something you can easily set down and pick back up and not have to remember where you are in a pattern. So I think it's...
Do you also have a wheel?
I do. I have several wheels. I have an Ashford Traditional. I have a Shack Matchless. I have a great wheel that was made in Union.
Oh, wow.
In like late 1700s.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I'm collecting all the stuff.
Fiber crafts.
Yeah.
It just multiplies in goodness.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, but you gotta figure out where you're gonna put everything and how much time you can actually spend doing the things once you've accumulated all of the tools and fun stuff.
Well, okay, so here's a question that I have, because years ago I did some spinning, some drop spindle, little wheel. Like, what do you think is, because we get this question all the time, like, where would a beginner start? Like, nothing is going to be easy when you're learning something new, as we know, but like, is there a good entry point, do you think?
Most of the advice I hear is that you should start with a drop spindle and do the park and draft method. So you put some twist in, tuck it between your knees, hold it steady, and then draft out and let the twist go up into your fiber. And I guess that is how most people start out, but it's really boring. So I think if there's one thing that you're really interested in, just start there, because you want something that will hold your attention and be fun to do. So,
and the motivation too for something that's the goal.
But I do understand that a spindle or drop spindle, they're fairly easy to come by. It's not a huge investment, so it is a good place to start for that reason. But, yeah.
Well, thanks for talking to us about your spinning. It's great because we do have spinners locally, and it's really nice to have your spinning expertise here to just chat with people who have spinning questions, because it's not in my wheelhouse. Tracy's also has good spinning knowledge as well.
Yep.
All right, so we did something fun on Finish Along Sunday last weekend. We had a really nice group, people coming and going, and I did a little recording with a couple of our local goats, and I thought it might be fun for you guys who are watching this to sort of catch the in-store vibe a little bit. And so I'm gonna segue into a couple of just shorts with two of our local goats, Molly and Emma. We're super grateful that they were willing to pop on with me and answer a few questions about what they were working on. But yeah, they're doing great stuff, and so we're gonna move into that part. So I want you to meet Molly. Molly is a local goat and she's joining us here on the Finish Along Sunday. And Molly, will you tell us what you're working on?
Yeah, I am working on a baby blanket with On the Round, her rainbow mini skein set and latte. And the pink is, I can't remember.
Himalayan salts.
To make the math a little easier.
Latte down here, so soft. So plush single with the Roy G. Biv rainbow.
Yeah, and then I'll finish it off with another skein of her latte.
Great.
So that's the first one.
Project number 1, which is, as you might imagine, we were just talking, it's like a little unwieldy right now. It's a little hot maybe to be working on a blanket.
Yes, so I also have some socks that I'm working on.
Oh, look at these.
In the Perth.
Perth. So Perth is a sock yarn that just, you were saying, it's like such a nice woolly,
like lanolin feeling.
Gorgeous.
Yeah,
And
nice
so these
and thick.
for you.
Are
Socks for you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Nice.
Second pair that I've made.
Second pair ever.
Yes.
Loving
I finished
it.
a pair from Socktober a couple weeks ago.
Yay, Finish Along. So yeah, you need to enter in for one of our Finish Along prizes.
Thank you. And yeah, those are the 2 Finish Along projects for right now.
And she may have just cast on for another project, but you know, that happens in the Finish Along.
Needed a change of pace.
Yes, we relate.
Yes.
So tell us about that project. Yeah,
So
we've got.
This is going to
just
be
started.
another anchor tee, but I am going to do color blocking for it so that it's just a little more fun.
Let's see the colors in the bag.
So we have the blue, the green,
Oh my gosh.
this yellow, which I did my first anchor in, and then this pink that I found, and this darker purple.
So if you're not familiar, Anchor Summer Shirt is super popular. Did it for a knit along. It was great. But Molly found a really inspiring image.
I did. It was on Instagram, and now I can't remember who it was from.
But it was cool because it was not like little skinny stripes. It was like, you know,
bigger
sections, which
different color ribbon. Yeah,
it's gonna be good.
super fun. So that's my next one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good to mix it up. We like the spice of variety with Finish Along.
We do.
And we were just, before we got on this, we were trying to remember, Molly, when did you find us? How did you find us at the Goats?
Yeah, I can't quite remember, but I think it's when I moved a little bit closer to Camden, because I had lived somewhere else in Maine that was a little bit further, and kind of got hooked because of also all the knit alongs, which I learned a lot from. So it's been a really great community.
We love having you part of it. All right, well, thanks for checking in on the little podcast surprise segments.
Of course.
Well, this is Emma. Emma is here on a Sunday for Finish Along as well, and Emma's got a couple projects. Tell us.
So I'm working on my second Sea Haven, so second sleeve, making progress with the Tilly.
Nice.
It's very soft. I love the color.
And the Tilly is just incredible. It's like, it's cotton and cupro, and it's very, very soft and squishy. So beautiful long sleeve option for Sea Haven, and cool that it's like a little bit of an autumn vibe too, for those late summer. September is still hot.
Yes. September, October. And then my project for in between the sleeves are these
A palette
socks.
cleanser, if you will.
Yes, they go much faster than the sleeves.
Oh yeah.
They were just vanilla socks and a DK sock weight that I just added a little bit, like slip over stitch.
Love that. Those are super fun, super summery. It's not cotton, but it's just, it kind of feels
I think it's like a superwash
superwash.
in sherbet color. So
And DK,
very
so they
fast.
fly by.
So fast.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And let's see, tell us about the next project, about your frogging adventure.
Yeah, so I'd done a cardigan sweater that was like in a waffle type knit with a very big band around the neck. And I think I wore it 4 times in the last 8 years. So I decided, since it was all worsted weight wool, to just frog the whole thing and then spin it and all of that. We'll recake it into cakes. So I think that's going to be a give
by Andrea Mowry.
So,
Nice.
but I have to finish the Sea Haven first, and then that's the next project.
Move into fall, but we always have the next project on our minds. Yep.
Yeah.
But a nice approach with the palette cleansing socks, and then you're breaking up those sleeves.
Yeah.
And how did you find us at the Goat?
So I have always lived like in the area, would pop by the Goat to get yarn every so often, both with the old location and this one. And then I just wanted to get a little bit more involved, and I found the Sunday knit-alongs with the Skudik cardigans. Started coming last September.
Yay!
Very fun.
Glad to have you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us for this fun little segment. Happy knitting. Okay, so that was really fun. fun to chat with those women, and now we're back, and we wanted to share, because you know how it is. We're always thinking about the next project. We're surrounded by inspiration. It's just an occupational hazard to be anticipating what we're going to create next with all of this beautiful inspiration, not to mention all the people coming through the store
with their beautiful
ideas
projects.
and their patterns, and we're adding things to our Ravelry favorites all the time. So let's talk about what's inspiring us currently in the shop. You want to talk about your beautiful...
So, I have this problem with only sticking to muted, neutral colors, blacks, browns, taupe, various shades of gray, which is great. It suits me. It suits my personality, but I'm lacking like nice, fun pops of color, and so I keep gravitating toward these colors, especially since I started working here, and I'm surrounded by other people's fun projects all the time. So I am thinking I need maybe a ranunculus and a nice, vibrant, poppy color to lay on top of all of my nice neutral beige wardrobe.
And this is Sonata by Noro. Silk cotton blend, has a nice drape to it, which would be beautiful in the ranunculus, I think.
Would.
Kind of enamored with this one you're holding right now. Yes.
I agree. This one's I do love sort of the turquoise as well, but I think I would wear this one the most.
Look great with neutrals
Yep.
as well. I mean, any of these colors.
Yes. And then I don't always have to look like I've, crawled up off the forest floor.
That is a good look.
It is.
You wear that look beautifully, I
Why,
will also
thank
say.
But even the forest floor has little pops of color.
Yes,
So I love
like
it.
all the mushrooms right now.
That's right.
Oh my word. We've had so much humidity and moisture, and we've just been having rain this morning. And it's been a great year to be a fungi. But for the humans, sometimes we've been like feeling suffocated a little bit.
Yeah,
But
just a bit.
cooler showers this morning. I got drenched when I was out with the dog, but the mushrooms will be happy and the pops of color will be appearing.
My garden
again.
will be happy finally.
Yes. Okay, this is a real, we didn't plan this, but then we were laughing because the things that I have been dreaming about lately, and you know how I love color, just hold on to your horses. I've been dreaming about this color is called Basalt, and this is Seven Sisters. This is Meridian, the sock yarn, and you can just see it's all of these gorgeous gray, taupey, brown beauties. And here it is on Astrid, which I just
beautiful.
love. Astrid is the fingering single ply superwash merino and silk. So shock of your life. I'm dreaming about neutrals. Rachel's dreaming about pops of color, right? Pretty wild. And just to add to the neutral mix, I wanted to bring out two other favorites from the Fino by Mono Stella Uruguay. This is one of my favorite colors of the Fino, and it's just Fino has merino and silk, non-superwash, so you can see it's a little bit nice and fuzzy, and this color is called Keepsake, and it's just such a beautiful muted blend of gray brown. So that I walk by it and I'm like, oh. Now this is the one that I like to fondly call owl feathers, but it's called Silver Tea Set in its real name. I just call it owl feathers because that's what I think of, but like kind of white silver to gray, just so subtle. And these skeins, give it a squish.
Yeah.
And speaking of squishy, I have something to share, which is so exciting because we talked to you about the Poema Cashmere by Land du Nord. Absolutely stunning, so beautiful. This is the color 92, so every one has this really long gradient color change, and the Poema is really beautiful. The Poema Cashmere is just lusciously soft. I mean, wow. And the one thing I will say is we've heard from some people that pulling from the outside of the ball is recommended because of it sort of has a fuzz to it, so it can almost feel a little bit sticky if you're pulling from the middle, having a lot of yarn barfing problems. But no problem if you pull from the outside, and it's gorgeous. So Kristen knit a shop sample, and it was so nice because as she was like convalescing, she wanted something sort of easy and beautiful and soft and gorgeous to work on. So it is this is the parallelogram shawl, and it just is so dreamy and so soft, and again just you can kind of see how the colors hold back, and it's really pretty. And we were like, oh, you were able to knit a thing. This is good.
Yeah, and it's so soft. It's just, I mean,
exactly. Right next to your neck, no problem.
It's the perfect thing to wear up around your face and sensitive areas. It's just lovely.
And it's merino, 80%. But it's a 16 micron merino, so it's extra soft, and then 20% cashmere. So that was cool, and we're gonna block this and have it out so people can be inspired and see the Poema Cashmere knit up
and try it on.
And try it on because it's a nice pattern.
It is.
And one of those ones that you wouldn't have to give too much thought to.
Yes.
Probably.
Which is good for me right now.
We like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, all right, we've had fun, and I'm so happy that Rachel joined me because I was getting a little lonely here all by myself, talking in a monologue to the camera. It was boring.
A poor substitute for Kristen, but I'm happy to be here so you can talk to somebody.
Yay! Well, it was great. So fun to have you as a guest with me, and maybe we'll do this again sometime.
Sure.
So if you enjoyed this podcast episode, give us a like. You can leave us a comment. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. We're also on all the socials, the Instagram and the Facebook and the TikTok, so you can find us there too. And in the meantime, hopefully you will have some fun things in your hands that you're working on making, enjoying some more of summer while we have it. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.